we really are very selective in the agencies that we represent. We are about a 15-lawyer law firm at this juncture. Rick Olivarez and I started this firm in its present form about 4.5 years ago. We had known each other for probably 15 to 18 years when we met at a law firm called Olivarez Madruga Law, doing construction litigation years ago. In fact, we did some stuff for Lennox Unified when I was at the Olivarez Madruga firm. I know there was a bond money that was passed to put additional insulation for the sound from the airport. So I remember Lennox from going back to 1994. And we always wanted to practice together because I'm as a litigator and he's a public agency lawyer. We finally made that happen. We currently represent several agencies. We have a city attorney for the city of El Monte. We are the city attorney for the city of Cudahy. We are the city attorney for the city of San Fernando. We are the city attorney for Huntington Park. And our firm provides a broad variety of services in the city attorney capacity, including Public Records Act, all public law requests, contracting with all outside vendors, all construction issues and construction and project management related services. We do litigation. I'm the principal litigator and I oversee probably 6 or 7 litigators. From Elliot is one of them. I think he's been before you guys on certain matters at Lennox. We also do a lot of education code and general counsel for school districts. We are currently the general counsel at the El Monte Union High School District, which is a school district similar in size to Lennox. We've been with them for about 4.5 years. We were their general counsel through some very trying times. We went through layoffs with them. We went through termination maintenance employees with them. It was very contentious. We had to fire a construction manager there. It was very contentious. And we handled all of the legal aspects with regard to that, including the construction litigation. I serve as their general counsel. I tend to be at board meetings. I attend all the closed sessions. I report on all litigation matters. We handle all the public requests and anything that comes through that district, similar to probably what Lennox would be. We are also the general counsel at the Lennox Unified School District. I won't go over all those details, but we perform the same and similar services there. We are also the general counsel at Centinela Valley as of recently. We've taken over there and went through, as I'm sure you folks know, a very contentious transition. We wanted to help them, and I think we've done a good job in doing some internal affairs investigations there, handling the public relations aspect of it for that district. We had a whole team of outside consultants come in. Very difficult time for that board, as I'm sure you know. Very difficult time given the public scrutiny. A lot of legal issues to deal with. We were there throughout that time, and we're still there working with them very closely and trying to sort of manage as we go forward in some of the things that approach that district. We are also litigator panel counsel to the Los Angeles County Community College District. I'm there on the litigation panel. Elliot and I handle all their labor and employment matters, which include the discrimination matters, employment matters, wrongful termination, tort matters, matters that go before the Equal Opportunity Commission, matters that go before the Department of Fair Employment and Housing. We do that same function for ASCIP, which I know you guys remember. That's why Elliot and I have been here on litigation. Mostly Elliot. You guys all know Elliot better than me, right? He is better than me on most things. So
sounds all right. I vouch for it.
Every now and then. So that's kind of a broad stroke of what we do. We have 5 partners. They include myself, Rick Olivarez, Richard Padilla, Isabel Vidieta, and Terrence Gallagher. We each bring a little bit different experience to the table. I'm a litigator by trade, and I do obviously the ed code and general counsel. Rick Olivarez, the senior partner, is a city attorney by trade, but he does all types of other types of public law litigation. Richard Padilla is the principal public law lawyer in the cities of El Monte and Cudahy. Isabel Vidieta is the city attorney acting right now in Huntington Park. And she also, her and Rick both act as the general counsel counsel in Centinel Valley. We do special counsel work for Rio Hondo, the college. I've done, and others have done internal affairs investigations. We've done investigations of disciplinary matters, and we've done administrative hearings for the Rio Hondo Community College. I think that kind of covers mostly what we do, at the risk of just sort of spouting off things that we've done and things that I think we can help you with. Let me also say that there's a few things that I think we try to do, and that isn't to suggest that other firms don't do this as well, but I think we make a real effort to do a couple things. One, we try to treat all of our agencies as equal clients. You should be able to reach us on the telephone. You should be able to text us or call us day or night. We're your lawyer, and if I'm not available, Rick will be, Elliot will be. Someone at our firm will respond to whatever legal need you have as soon as we can get back to you. There shouldn't be any, boy, I called my lawyer, you know, it's been 2 days now. That's not going to happen. If it does, you need to tell us, because we will fix that. We're here to provide a service for you. You pay us to do that. The other thing that I think is very important for our firm is some of the issues that we've found in some of the public agencies that we've been in, including Cudahy and now Centinel Valley and some others. We're very firm on taking the right ethical approach to everything. You may ask us what we think on a legal matter. Our job is to analyze the facts, to analyze the law, and to give you guys our opinion on what we think. We're not the type of firm that's going to tell you something just because we think you want to hear it. It's not fair to you guys that have to make decisions, important legal decisions, for us to tell you something because we think that's what you want to hear. That's politics. We're lawyers. We're going to tell you, and you don't have to follow advice, but you have to make the judgments. And I don't think you can make the judgments unless you're giving objective opinions based upon the facts and the law. And that's what you're going to get from us every time out. You may not like it, but you don't have to follow it if you don't like it. But we would be doing you a disservice if we just gave you something that wasn't based upon an objective evaluation of the law. And that's what you pay us for. So I think, you want to add anything to that?
I just echo a lot of what Tom said. As far as my background, I've met a lot of you folks discussing litigation matters involving Lennox as a defendant through our ASCIP representation. And I personally have been with this firm for a little over 3 years, since the beginning of 2011. And similar, because of the smaller size of the firm, each attorney, I think, has a unique experience working in a wider range of areas, from construction to employment, many of the areas that Tom already addressed. My background, I was an educator prior to becoming an attorney. I worked as a teacher, and one thing that is a persistent theme that I'm very proud of at this firm is that the attorneys at the office I work in at Olivarez Madruga want the educators to do the educating and get back to educating. So to the extent that we can come in, analyze the situation, gather the facts, coordinate with staff, participate in arriving at giving an informed opinion, and then letting the district make their decision and move forward, that's something that has been consistent in each and every matter and case that I've worked on. And I think it's a very positive and efficient and effective way for our firm to operate and for solutions to be arrived at for the district to move forward. So that's just one other thing that I would add on. And as far as the representation and as far as the breadth of representation that the firm has, there really is. The school district as a client covers so many different areas, as you're well aware. There's an entire galaxy of legal issues that arise when you run a district, and our experience really covers that breadth, particularly as a small firm. Each member of it has a capacity to research, drill down, answer questions. Everyone works well with one another, combinations of teams, and I think that we can bring a lot of positive services to Lennox School District.
Yeah, and just to echo that, we're large enough to where we have expertise in a lot of different areas that an agency such as Lennox would need. But we're small enough that we still want to give you guys a feeling that you are, we're your personal lawyer, not the board itself, but the district itself. You know, some of the things that we see in other agencies is, to the extent we do human resources or we get involved in personnel matters, one of the things we try to do is, as we're going through a particular issue, we recognize that staff, and staff's very busy, they have a lot on their plate, and they don't always know the perfect answer. I mean, we're only human, people make mistakes. We don't always know the answer. We can look it up and find it, but one of the things we'd like to do as we go through an issue with staff is sort of reach out and do some training as we go through it, so that at least as we go through a particular personnel issue or any issue in the district, if we can set it straight from that point forward, then these things don't tend to repeat themselves, and you get kind of a double value. You get a resolution on the issue that's pending in front of you, and you get some training so that going forward you don't have to revisit that issue, and I think that helps cut your legal bills. The best thing we would want, I know this sounds strange coming from a lawyer, is to keep bills down, because it reflects poorly on us if the bills are too high. Now, sometimes it's unavoidable, but the more efficient your staff is, and the less dependent you become on calling the legal counsel for an answer, the more efficient and the more money the district saves, and that's more money that their students get. And we want you to be a client for 20 years. We don't want to come in and think we know everything and bill you guys a bunch of money for nothing and then get out of it. We want a relationship with this district as we have with other clients for a long time. And that's the approach. It's a training approach. It's being efficient, and it's managing everything so that we have costs in mind and making business decisions when that requires a business decision. That's cutting your losses rather than getting involved in a 3-year litigation that costs you $300 grand when you can settle a case for 20. We make those decisions every day, and we've made some of them right here in this district. And that's the way you build trust in your lawyers, and that's the way you maintain and manage legal expenses over time. At least that's been the way we've been doing it.
Okay. All right. So now we'll move on to the Q&A.
Red light start flashing?
Red
light,
I'll look out for
and
the
then
red
you're
lights.
pretty
We
much
get helmets or
good.
anything?
There's a bucket of water that comes from the
All right.
Still
No,
good.
but you guys you're okay.
Okay.
I've looked at your presentation you gave us, kind of thick, but it was very efficient. I understand you guys have done some work with the NILO conference, and which is, being in this community, especially with Lennox. Lennox is more so as a family. Our teachers, our parents, we're very close, even as far as board members. We want to know what other community things that you have done as well, too.
Yeah, we are very active in Vallejo. My partner, Rick Olivarez, is on the board. His grandfather, Edward Roybal, started Vallejo. So he has a very personal interest in Vallejo itself, and has taken a very active role in Vallejo. We attend all the conferences. I know he goes, he more so than anybody, because he's on the board. But we are also on several other boards. I myself am on the board for Michael's Learning Center, which is in El Segundo. It's a school that was started by a friend of mine who are disabled and children that can't go to regular school. Been on that board for 12 years. We do a lot of other pro bono work. I know in the city of El Monte, we're on other committees there. Yourself?
Yeah, just this past weekend, we had a group go down and participate in a fundraising activity, and Olivarez Madruga represented a 5K run that took place in Century City that supported, the funds for it supported CASA, or individual case administrators who went out to protect the rights and advocate the rights for kids who are in the foster care system. So that's just one of the most recent things off the tip of my head. The work that I do, a lot of it relates to volunteering and going back to my old places where I went to school. So new students. As an attorney in the profession in Los Angeles, I try and reach out and provide mentorship opportunities to young students and young professionals to try and provide whatever insights I can in my, albeit short, but so far, so good career. And I think that each individual attorney has their own civic work that they bring to the community.
Yeah, we have a couple of lawyers. Elliot is one of them. Another one who were formerly from the Disability Rights Center in Los Angeles, who work as attorneys for that advocacy. We are also donate a lot of money to different foundations in the city of El Monte because that's one of the cities that we're city attorneys in. One of our partners is on the board at the White Memorial Medical Center. Donates a tremendous amount of time for White Memorial. I'm sure there are others that don't jump out at me right now, but
Thank you.
it's many as I can think. But it's very important, and I'm glad you asked that, because that gets overlooked.
Kind of same question. I agree with that. I know you are experienced with a great experience, and you guys have a supporter leadership organization like NALEO. But I would like to know how you want to support our students, our community.
Well, and that's a very good question too. I know in the answer to that is you tell us how we can be useful, and we'll respond, because I don't know the exact needs of each of your students. I can tell you what the needs of students are in general, but Lennox students may have different issues that are presented to them because it's unique to this community. And if it's financial contributions, more than willing to do that. If it's time commitments, we're more than willing to do that. You tell us what us as a law firm can provide to the students of this community, we have no problem. Because it's hard, if we have a vested interest in the kids here, you're going to get, if we have a stake in it, we're going to be that much more committed to making sure that we do the right things here, day in and day out, because we're vested. And if that's weekend time, whatever you need from us. I know for the El Monte Union High School District, one of the things that I always do for them is there's a lot of students there that are thinking about a legal career going to law school, but no one sat down with them and told them what it takes to be a lawyer, what it takes to, what courses they should take to go to law school, what I should be looking for, whether they would even like it, because how do they, other than watching on TV with us. So I volunteer time to do what I call law day. And any student that's interested in, we have high schools, I don't know if that would work for the elementary schools, but who knows? Let's sit down, let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the different kinds. There's litigators, there's public lawyers, there's private lawyers, there's corporate lawyers, there's politicians. But some of these kids have no idea that that's even out there because no one's taking time to sit down and tell us. And that's easy for me. We do that every day, and I'd rather give that time and share that with those kids, because if one of those kids wants to go to law school or have a legal career, but I would be remiss if he didn't know, if we can get one of those kids to do that based upon spending that time with them, then it's worth it. Even if 20 don't go. But if one kid makes it, then that time is well spent, and my time is to give to you guys.
I'll follow up a different question from their perspective, and thank you for being here. As you know, we're not a city. We're not incorporated. So therefore, there's a lot of resources that we don't have. For example, our school district is very limited in how we can generate revenue. We have been attempting different things. So how would you, as our law firm, support us in finding other ways to find revenue to support our schools? That's one thing. And the other one is right next to the airport. So we have LAWA. And being neighbors to LAWA doesn't mean that there was going to be understanding to the needs of the community. So we have to fight for the financial that they had committed to be able to make our schools better. So how would you help us with that as well?
Well, I think one way is that we, as a firm, are involved in legal issues that are local to every school district. But my partner and I have also lines of communication higher up. And I think in this state and in the federal government itself, one of the things that we are trying to do as a law firm is provide a broader service to local school agencies, not only at the higher Department of Education level, but on the federal level as well. Now, how we go about doing that, we haven't figured that out yet, but because of some of the areas that we have been involved with, not only locally but nationally, I think there might be some avenues where we can either put in for grant money, petition for extra money given. There's unusual circumstances here because of Lennox, because of the airport. There's plenty of money floating around that's generated by the Los Angeles airport. But that money's not going to come to Lennox unless there's a voice for Lennox. And I think there's a way to do that, and those are some of the things I think we with your permission, would love to look into. How specifically go to that, I don't know that as I sit here now, but I think I think there's plenty of funding out there that should come, part of it should come this district's way, given that you guys have to tolerate the noise and the jet fuel and everything else that's here. So we would be, you know, I'd have to look into that further, but it'd certainly be something on our radar.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, Alex can answer this next one.
I had some questions on your philanthropic piece as well. Well, first of all, thanks for being here and your presentation, and thanks for putting this together as well. It's very informative as far as what your scope of work and services you've offered. I mean, just not to go more into the philanthropic aspect, but I think I know my colleagues addressed some of the issues with our students as well, but as one of them mentioned that, you know, we are a community, and I see you've held job fairs in the past at other places. I think that's something that also would encompass in our community and help out as far as you know, some of our parents and, you know, who live here as well. So that was one aspect of it, and you know, it's always great there's that partnership. And like
just a quick point of order. You have 48 minutes left, or 47. However, out of the 20 minutes, you still have 7 minutes remaining. So we're gonna do it, the board's okay, you know, add it to the so that way you can still use your. Yeah,
my question. Okay,
just,
so
you know, give me 1 minute. Let me just add the time. Just pause this. We had 1 minute remaining. Right, so start. Go ahead.
Thank you. So thanks for that piece, and that's something I know everyone was concerned about and asking. I do have a question, and I know you mentioned something you pride yourself as far as your firm is that you have you're small but effective. In the narrative you mentioned how you do have a few partners, so if any situation arises, you know, you can make a decision and help us out. Can you elaborate more on that, just as we're here for the public as well?
Well, as the associate who reports to the partners, I'll make my piece and then see what my boss has to say about that. It really is the accessibility between the clients and attorneys at the firm is very close. Everybody has great familiarity among the associates, the partners, to the secretaries, to the support staff. There is no anonymity at our firm, as it has even grown over time. A lot of the relationships and partnerships that have formed over time go from preceding relationships. So, for example, Tom mentioned knowing Rick Olivarez going way back. I had been introduced to Rick through some other friends who had known each other for years and years. So there is a very strong closeness. So when my phone rings at 9:45 p.m. and it's Rick or Tom or Terrence or Rich or Isabel, Victor, anybody on the list, and there's a need or a demand that I can respond to, I'm there. And so in the time that I've worked here, I think that there always has been a very fluid work. There's assignments for particular clients so that you have established familiarity with attorneys, but at the same time, there's always support that's really literally a call away. So I don't know if that touches as far as the connectivity.
I would just, and he's right about that, there's a lot of fluidity, but I would add that all of our partners are trained in the Brown Act. They've attended city council meetings, school board meetings. We've interchanged that. I've been in city council meetings, I've chaired city council meetings. Isabel has chaired city council meetings and board meetings. Richard Perdita is probably one of the most foremost Brown Act experts in the state. He's been at every meeting, and so you're never really uncovered if one person or another person is unavailable. Associates, and I hasten to use that term because I think there really isn't a divide. They're just equally as smart, equally as capable. They just haven't been doing it as long. And I don't want to do them a disservice by saying that they're on the same level. The lawyers that are from are all capable, and one of Elliot's first assignments, I think, in month 2 was to go to Linwood to sit in on a board meeting. He took Terrence Gallagher's suit, which was 2 times too big for him. So he looked like the ending of Big, you know, when the kid goes back to the teenager. But he did it, and we learned from it, and I think there's a lot of fluidity in terms of having other partners. And a lot of times, I may not know the answer, or I may not confront us in this. I pick up the phone and ask one of my partners, and I'm like, oh, I've done that twice. So it's very useful.
Great, thank you.
Okay, the next question, how familiar are you with the implementation of the Common Core standards?
I'm actually, I don't have familiarity with that for.
It's an education.
Yeah, the new Common Core standards. I know it's changing over. In El Monte, I've worked with some of the assistant education services to implement the new Common Core standards. I have familiarity with it. I defer to them most of the time, but if there's a legal issue that arises out of that, I certainly weigh in on them. I wouldn't propose to be an expert in Common Core, but some of the people I talk to are having trouble implementing some of the new Common Core standards themselves, and so that's one of the things we're working on in El Monte, and I think that's probably one of the challenges facing you. I think it's a good question. To the extent we could always know more about it, I'd need to.
So you still have
Any
closing statements? Yeah, 3 minutes.
Well, I would. What?
No, I was gonna say, well, if you guys
You
are
have a
gonna
question?
close, are you gonna use it 3 minutes or? I just
No. I'd rather answer
Okay,
something you want answered than
Okay.
just sit up here and punt it.
Okay, thank you. How, and along the lines, this will come up, your firm familiar with E-rate and Prop 39 as far as some of the environmental usages of Prop 39?
Yeah, we have 2 lawyers at our firm that David Gondek he's our counsel. He is an expert in Prop 39. He's been at the Court of Appeals and he's been up in Sacramento. And he's someone that I would defer to within our firm to address E-rate funding for Proposition 39. I don't know if his resume is in here. He's on our website. You'll find him on there, but you know, we couldn't bring everybody, and I don't know that area, but David Gondek is probably one of the foremost experts that we would use for that purpose.
Thank you.
No, I guess I just close by saying, one, we are very humble about the opportunity to come to Lennox for me to folks. You know, we have plenty of work and we have plenty of business. So we're not just looking to grow just for the sake of saying we're a bigger firm or we want to make more money. There are certain districts that the demographics or the location that we want to represent. Lennox is one of those people. We put an RFP back when we were looking for construction council a year or so ago. So we're selective as well as you should be, but I don't want you guys to look at us just as another business opportunity for us. We want to have a stake in this area. We really want to represent people that we take pride in representing. And Lennox is one of those folks. And we've talked to, you'd be surprised at the folks that we've talked to about you board members of Lennox, and we really do appreciate the opportunities. And I'll leave with this: if you have any questions whatsoever about anything that our qualifications, that maybe we didn't get an answer to, call me up, call Rick up, call Elliot, send us an email, we'd be more than happy to provide you with what we think of that, or what lawyer might be handling that, if it's an area, that you need answered and you need an expertise. Thank you. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.